Good day, party people. My name is Jacob Snow, and today I'm going to be basically just commentating while I perform some last-minute content design for Legends of Albadyn, the game. Going to be talking about principles of gameplay balancing, what is and is not too much, as well as just providing you some insight on how the process goes. Now, as a brief aside, you can find Legends of Albadyn for free at legendsofalbadyn.com, link below. Or you can also purchase our newly released Elite Collection book, which is available on barnesandnoble.com. For the low price of $25, you get everything that you need to play the game, rules-wise, as well as some unique classes and items and some unique content as well. Super cool, just in time for the holiday season. Also, as a final aside before we get into the actual meat of the video, please be sure to check out my merch store at teespring.com. I'll be sure to leave links to all of these in the description below. Now, this is the final encounter that I'm designing for Vault of the Artificer, a new quest that I intend to release here in 3 days. It's a fun quest. It introduces several new monsters and several new mechanics as well. These mechanics are to be looked out for in future PvE warbands and dungeons moving forward. It's a good time. And this quest is relatively simple to complete. I would bring a friend or two, definitely. But, Monster ability. There we go. Okay. So, first off, encounter design. We start with the room layout. Now, this is important, these colors here, because that needs to be a little different. The reason it needs to be a little different is because the reds are too similar. And so, ultimately, you would think that's a blob of whatever this red key is. But the room layout is super important because it gives us several things. Firstly, it gives us what monsters are in the room. Secondly, as a director, which is what we call the dungeon master or whatever, the GM in Legends of Albadyn is the director. It gives the director where to start when designing the room layout. For instance, this room is a 24 by 24 room with walls obstructing, but there is this area. One thing we're going to do here, though, is... There we go. Now there are windows. These windows are going to be important for this gray block here. So first off, we need to fill our areas with the appropriate colors. Red, dark green, brown, and gray. There we go. And then we just input the names of the monsters that correspond to the colors. So, X8, Artificer, Thug. There we go. Stats, we have 4 HP. Now, it's important when designing an encounter, because, let's be honest, you're not going to memorize everything to do with the game, regardless of how good you are at it. So always be sure to back check and make sure that you're remembering the stat line correctly. Very important. So yeah, 3 attack speed. 3s and 4s. 3 AS. Then 3 plus A. 4 plus D. And does not activate traps. That's super important. Alright, green, Gyrus, Zarn, the Artificer. 12 HP. This is because he is essentially, by all intents and purposes, a player character. What is that notification? Dang, I know it's not my phone. It's frustrating. Alright, so we've got 12 HP. And we're going to give him 4 movement, 4 attack speed, as is standard for human player character. 5 plus A, 5 plus D. Does not activate traps. Can escape by reaching board edge. And that's important because you're trying to kill him. So you've got like 2 turns to do it, and there are ways to do this, but the basic intent is that he's going to escape. So these are the important monster. You're going to want to remember these guys. X for Shield Golem. They are the newest style of mob. They are going to be substantially problematic moving forward. 7 HP, 3 movement, not 34 movement, good god. And 2 AS, 4 plus A, 2 plus D. And when this unit takes 3 damage, not spelled out, it's ATK/DEF. So basically what's going to happen with this guy, with the shield golem, is that he is a damage sponge, but if he takes 3 damage, he becomes a lot easier to hit, but also a lot more aggressive. And it took so much testing to get this thing right. I'm not even kidding. We had, like, he was always either too spongy. I'm stretching, sorry. He was always either too spongy or too punishing to deal with. But I'm not going to give you the tactics that I use to take him down, because I want you to discover that for yourself. So, Zarn's Pride and Joy. Formatting is important. Alright. And this unit counts as a trap. I like that asterisk there. Okay. 3 plus A. Hold on. And A slash 8 AS. Okay, 3 plus A. And oh, see, there's something important we forgot. Range. And we're gonna do a little dramatics here. It's gonna be funny. Where's my infinity symbol? Damn you. It's word. It's always word. It's out to get me. Okay. No infinity symbol for me. Range, we're gonna go with 14. Does not have to shoot in a straight line. Only attacks every other turn. There we go. And that's the encounter setup. And so what's going to happen is the players enter the room here. Their objective is to get rid of Zarn. Standing in their way is... Gonna need to adjust this encounter. It looks a little too much like a weird anime face. Regardless of all of that, however, you're gonna have to get through the thugs, through the shield golems, past this barrage of fire that's gonna just obliterate, and to Zarn. So that's the basic encounter. There, then we're going to explain Zarn. If Zarn escapes, complete the encounter and finish the narrative for reduced rewards. So basically, you're not going to just automatically fail state if Zarn gets away. And as we'll establish once we hit the narrative section, it's complicated. So we hit page break, B, final narrative, and we will do that later on this part because I don't want the plot twist to be revealed. The Zarn twist, and then we're going to. Now, Whitehaven is, for those of you who do not yet know, the capital city of Danyavar. That's where most of the quests for the 3.0 version take place. And you're usually working for Alagrani. May have to come momentarily. Is grateful to you for your help. And she rewards you as she promised she would. In passing, she remarks that she is glad she gets to work with you, and that your quality is superior to that of her other contacts. We're working on a plot line here, but it's a loose plot line instead of a really aggressive plot line. Like, basically we're going more for Mandalorian story structuring where there's an overarching story, but the adventures themselves are self-contained. And what makes this important is that by making it more of a larger overarching narrative, we could tie a lot more into it than if it was a quick, fast, and in a hurry, point A, point B, point C, save the world kind of narrative, because really you can only tie the best rewards to save the world in that kind of structure. But with it being loosely adventure-based, you can go for mid to high tier rewards off of each adventure instead of being locked into, I've gotta walk this up, but I gotta make sure that the final save the world, if you will, unlock / loot reward is titanic enough for their efforts. So as you walk to the treasury to claim your reward, you see a man in a mask wearing an amulet that looks like a... This is a little cumbersome. See, narrative is the hardest part of designing these. I can design encounters literally all day and be totally fine, but making the narrative sound compelling is the frustrating part, because this is... You see a man standing near the shadows who wears an amulet in the likeness of a crane. The bird, not the construction equipment. Peculiar to see such a man in the Countess as Mena. See, it's all tricky. there we go. He looks you over and you feel as though he has somehow assessed the core of your being and found you barely. Hey, let me do my italics. Adequate. Okay. Then we get to the fun part, which is rewards. So we're going to put 2,000 gold price tag on this. And 10 power. Or X1 legendary weapon token. Redeemable for a legendary weapon from the item shop. Got to explain everything because you have to understand, with content such as this, it's not like a video game where you can bank on once a player gets to this point in the narrative, they already know how this works. With tabletop game design, especially with the model that I utilize for a free-to-play website with downloads, any quest could be a player's first quest, which is kind of a it's difficult to balance around, but in the same token, it's not that bad. So like when you use a term like legendary token or something like that, you always need to make sure you explain how it works so it doesn't leave people in a lurch. And I mean, even a director could get thrown by the legendary weapon token. Oh, I don't know what this is. I mean, and you could make a logical assumption, but in the same token, you should never have to assume when it should be explained. And 10 power. And there you have it. That's our basic content design. Now, when this goes live on the website, on the 15th, the Zarn plot angle will be hammered out, which is majorly important. And be sure to pick up the quest because it's really cool. I hope you all enjoyed this video, just a little insight into the Legends of Albadyn design process. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week and a wonderful weekend. And until next we meet, may your journey continue.